What does this White House hope to achieve through President Xi's upcoming state visit?
First of all, it's very important to us that we have regular high-level contacts with China. It's the most consequential bilateral relationship in the world, and we feel that engagement is the best way to advance the relationship. So what we hope to achieve is find areas of concrete progress where we can move forward on climate and energy policy. I think we can set a good example going into the Paris talks later this year. On economic issues, I think we want to find ways to promote more Chinese investment in the United States, pursue policies that can create growth and jobs in both countries, but then also deal with some irritants in our relationship on cyber issues, on the South China Sea. So there's a very broad agenda. We want to leave here with the relationship in a stronger footing than it was when we came in, and demonstrate to the world that the U.S. and China are committed to working together on the issues that are going to shape the future of the 21st century.
New York Times reported Sunday that this administration is trying to negotiate a deal with the Chinese side on a cyber code of conduct. Can you confirm that report?
Yes, what we're trying to do is say on cyber issues, there are always going to be tensions, there's always going to be, frankly, some degree of espionage that is taking place in the world. What we're most focused on is trade secrets and the ability of businesses to operate without the fear that they're going to be subjected to cyber attacks that steal their intellectual property. So what we've been talking to China about is how can we create the type of framework where we can cooperate on these issues and we can be more transparent. And if we have a concern, we can raise it directly with our Chinese counterparts and know that there'll be follow-up. And I'm sure the Chinese, of course, would have the ability to raise issues with us. So I wouldn't say that there's some formal agreement that has been reached, but I do think that we've had a constructive discussion about what does that framework look like, how can we address these issues not purely as competitors, but also as two countries that have a stake in a world in which businesses can operate without fear that their secrets are going to be stolen by cyber actors.
On law enforcement cooperation, recently one high-profile Chinese corruption suspect, Yang Jingjun, was repatriated back to China. What prompted the White House, the U.S., to do that?
Well, look, whenever we're in a law enforcement situation with other countries, we are open to receiving information that requests extradition. And our law enforcement community reviews that information, and then they make a determination about whether or not it's sufficient to lead to repatriation. We don't get involved in that. So in our system, the White House, State Department, we don't make those judgments. This is handled entirely by the Department of Justice, the FBI, and they have a liaison relationship with China and with many other countries where they can say, if you have a concern about an individual, you share the information with us, and if we believe it's sufficient, then we're willing to cooperate with you.
So for the U.S. to repatriate more of the corruption suspects, as was requested by the Chinese side, they will have to do it on a case-by-case basis?
That's exactly right. This would be a case-by-case basis where the Justice Department will have to receive the information, and then they will make an independent determination, separate from the White House, about whether the information is credible enough to require repatriation.